cool. So, hey, yo, this is Matt coming at you again. This is a table downstairs where we come and have some discussions about some real world issues and some, I'd say, some touchy topics. But we are not professionals in any light. We just want to come together and just open the floor for that discussion. So if you guys got anything to say, drop it in the comments and we can get to it. All right?
Like, share, subscribe.
Cool. All right, so I wrote down these questions right here. This one stems off of fear of a man's attitude, right? So in a relationship is more so what I'm talking about. And a lot of these questions are going towards relationships. I believe a man is looked at as like strong, so on. And I feel like in a relationship with a woman, women are extremely expressive, right? So when they are extremely expressive, I feel like they can bring up almost any issue to a man. And I believe that would tire out the man in the relationship. If a woman keeps coming to you with every single thing, then it becomes an issue for you, right? That's what I think. Do you think that a woman should have I call it the healthy fear of a man's attitude, in which that she will not share everything. She will decide within and of herself, you know what, this isn't worth it. I shouldn't bother him with this.
Depends on what this is. What is this is? Like, what is it? Because I can be like, okay, I don't want to bother you with something, but this thing that you feel that I'm bothering you with is conducive to my growth. It's conducive to the overall growth of the relationship, in my opinion, and I think that's what I feel may make me feel safe. So it's just like, I think it's like, it depends on what you think that thing is, in my opinion. Because, for example, if we have an example, if I said to you, okay, I don't like it when you cut me off when we speak. Even though I know you're not trying to do it intentionally.
Yep. Do you stop it every time?
Do I stop it every time?
Yeah. Do you address? No, I'm just saying. Do you address that? Like, for instance, that's a valid valid argument right there. So, like, if I cut you off, right, and you warn me about it, the next time it happens, do you warn me about it right after that again? Do you warn me about it after that again?
Well, the thing, if I'm telling you that you're cutting me off and I don't like it, I want to ensure that that I'm making sure that you're aware. Yeah. Right? Because maybe you're just doing it and you're not aware. Mm-hmm. But then there comes a point where it's like, am I just, well, there comes a point where I'm either letting you know to be like, hey, Matt, like, you cut me off, versus where I'm just repeating myself and there's no form of action being taken to kind of kill the act.
So when does I will say your growth, like, okay, that bothers you, right? And I could say, hey, every time I do it, I'm not trying to do it. You know I'm not trying to do this.
Yeah.
Right? Stop talking to me about it.
Well, it depends. I can stop talking to you about it, but I feel like we need to take in consideration as to me, ceasing talking about it to you. Sorry. But like me not bringing it up every single time, you don't know the damage that's doing to me, because I can say, by you cutting me off, it makes me feel unheard, and the fact that you still do it, it's not like I'm seeing progress in you changing, right? Just me not bringing it up to you can be affecting me in ways that you may not know, and I'll just try to say nothing just to keep the peace, right? Yeah. So it's just like, I think when you ask the question, when do I stop bringing it up for the sake of it's bothering you, you have to take in consideration how it's affecting me as well. So if I feel like if you cutting me off is a detriment to, let's say, my growth, it's making me feel unheard, it's really makes me feel disrespected, even though you're not doing it on purpose, it makes me feel disrespected because it continues to happen and there is no type of correction, even an attempt to be corrected.
What does that look like, though?
Attempt to be like,
because a mistake is a mistake. Like, for instance, some people grow up like that. You know what I mean? Like the loudest person in the room is the person who gets to talk the most.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
But a mistake, how many times can we do something until we continue to call it a mistake?
Yeah, I think that at a certain point in time, accountability has to come into play, whether it's the man in the situation, the woman in the situation. If I'm doing something, I'm like, yo, hey, I don't rock with that. I expect that that is heard. And if it's not, I'm gonna bring it up every single time. Every single time. Because in the past when I didn't, it kept on happening. And that pattern on the other side became habitual. And then I kept on doing the same thing, which was not speak to it, which was also habitual.
Well, because then you.
Then I'm harboring feelings that this person doesn't even know that I have.
Well, you're also
Get that.
without intentionally, you were teaching the person how to treat you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then you harbor resentment without that other person not knowing that you are harboring, some type of resentment. And there's a quote that I live by is that, when you keep silent to basically avoid the war, you start the war within yourself.
100%. And that's why accountability is so important, because I got to be accountable for how I feel.
Yeah.
If you're doing something that's like, even if you don't know or do know, whatever, and it's bothering me or affecting me in any sort of way, and I don't speak to that, that's not on you anymore. That's literally on me.
I have a perfect example for this exact topic. There's an individual at work. He is trans. So he was a woman, but he is a man now. So, but I consistently refer to him as her because he has one would consider a female-like name, and the features, he's still in transitioning. So it's not a full transition yet. So sometimes when I'm with customers, I'll say things like, "Oh, she'll help you," right? And he's really been, and the first couple of times he's been like, he, Brittany, he, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." But it kept on happening, and it's just that, like, I understand where it's just like, I could literally say, "Stop bringing all that noise to me, like, leave me alone," like, I get it, right?
Yes.
But I understand how it makes him feel, because it's starting a war within himself, because he wants to be correctly gendered, and I get that. So he knows that I'm working on it, because every time I let it slip, I'm like, "Oh, she's just, oh, sorry, he." Like, that alone, he can say that Brittany's working on it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just like, "Oh, forget about it, it's a mistake." You could tell, he can tell that.
You're
okay,
actually trying, so then
Yeah.
on his side, it's like, yo, she gets it.
Yeah.
She's working through herself. Like,
Yeah.
I'm cool.
Exactly.
It's gonna give you
Versus,
flies.
You think that
versus-
should affect him to a point where that's like, sorry, you guys are gonna talk, so I'm gonna let you guys talk. But do you think that he should not be able to self-regulate himself and say, like, "Yo, this doesn't bother me anymore"?
I wish we could say that, but a lot.
That's not.
And please, people of the world, please do not attack me for this.
Yo, I'm not saying this. This is
lot-
an
I'm
example
just-
for the
I know,
situation.
But a lot of persons that I've come across that identify as trans, they're already going through within a war within themselves. It is
Exactly.
something we'll never understand.
Understood.
Truly never understand. And I also have someone at my workplace that is trans, and I struggle with the same with pronouns.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it. However, everyone has the choice to be a human on this planet and live to what they live by. So what I do is I use their name.
Yeah.
Always use their name.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You'll never have that issue again.
Yeah.
That's simple. Gang, gang.
All right.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, would someone nagging you, would the nagging be too much for you if you're trying to fix something within someone, or they're trying to see you change and they keep on remind you to do this? Do you feel like that's a negative towards that person? Like, that, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that within my experiences, when someone continually reminds me to do something, it's like,
So I think I know what he's trying to say. So basically, like, at what point does it feel, do you feel like people don't care? Like, they feel like you don't care about what they're saying. So, like, you can, basically that. I know what you're trying to say. So basically, it's like they keep repeating, and then they think that you don't care because you're not changing your ways. So at what point does that become a problem? Because I feel like I've been in that situation many times where, like, okay, there are things where people don't probably see it as a mistake, but they feel like, okay, this guy really isn't getting it. But truly, I know that I'm trying my best to be like, okay, I forget things badly, but I'm really trying not to forget.
But don't you think
But-
that I can see that? Like, don't you think when a person is
You would
trying,
hope. You would hope.
you would hope that you can see the effort that's being
Here's the
brought
thing.
forward.
I'll bring you guys another example. So you're in a relationship, and your partner expects you that when you say you're gonna call them, that you're gonna call them. After your workday, give them a call, say goodnight. If you forget, just because you were forgetful, or whatever, you were tired, you fell asleep, whatever. Say every other morning, or after that morning, that person calls you and they're mad. Can they be mad even if you just forgot, like you have innocently forgot?
Yes, they can be. 100%.
Yeah?
Of course they can.
They can be.
Why,
They're
why
allowed
can't
to
they
be.
be upset?
They're allowed to be, but
You're allowed to feel exactly how you feel.
can-
If someone's
yeah, you can
upset
still-
because you've made it, especially if you said, yeah, I'll call you when I'm done work, and you don't, you
Yes.
now made that, you made that a commitment.
Okay.
You basically made that a verbal contract and you broke it. So
If-
yes.
yeah, if someone
you,
says,
you
you
literally
know-
made it move. You said this is what I'm gonna do.
So
And that's
there's no-
literally what that term means. It's like
So there's no
you
excuse
reneged
after,
on that.
there's no excuse after that causes a mediation of the attitude that would come to the conversation afterwards.
Now, I'm not saying that the attitude would be justified. I just understand that that person, if they're gonna be upset, I can see why they would be upset.
Okay.
Now, how they choose to go about being upset, that is different.
Okay.
If she's on the phone or he's on the phone doing blah, 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 and calling you out your name and doing all the most, that's wrong. You
And I
can't
think
do that.
that is what people consider as nagging. That's what you get that nagging connotation from. It's not the actual act per se, it's more so what comes after it.
It's the blowback from.
You know what I
from
mean?
that.
Yes.
So I can be like, hey, don't cut me off, don't cut me off, don't cut me off, and you continue to cut me off. I don't think it's me telling you not to cut me off is nagging. It's the fact that after you cut me off, I don't speak to you for 24 hours.
Yeah.
That's the nagging, because now you associate it as nagging because it comes with the negative repercussion, which is me
Which
not speaking
you're
to
gonna
you.
have to feel it,
Yes.
which is quote unquote what we like to call toxic, everyone.
well, we're going back to the
So
toxic.
there's a lot of things toxic, man, but it's all good.
The toxic is
It's
really
toxic
a thing.
because it
Yeah.
falls into a control drama. Like
Yeah.
using the example that Brittany just gave us of saying, "I don't talk to you for 24 hours." That is a punishment.
That's
Yeah.
That's not right.
You're trying to condition your partner,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
right?
condition, yes, but you're also, it's not even condition, but you're trying to punish them for them making you feel anything that was not positive or not getting what
Yes.
they wanted, which isn't right. It stems a lot of manipulation, depends on how far you go. We all know what manipulation is.
Yeah,
It ain't
yeah,
really
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Witchcraft, people, that's what that is. Hey, hey.
Mm-hmm.
No, literally, manipulation is witchcraft.
Is it?
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Read the book. Come on, guys. But literally, if you see how the effects of what manipulation can do and how far it can spread, yeah, it's not a good thing. So men and women, don't do that. Just open communication. It's always best.
Alright.
Next
Yeah,
question.
that's how it doesn't work on me. It's like, oh, you're not talking to me? Okay.
I think it's,
My man Siobhan is a yard man.
No,
You said,
I'm-
whoa, you're not gonna come my phone? Freedom!
I just feel like there's as I said, like, me as a man, I'll put myself in the situation. If I was in the situation of like the not calling or something like that, or the cutting off, genuinely something that's just part of my nature, you know what I mean? Like something I just grew up with. I feel like I'll be able to read my woman, but I don't believe that the consistent, as Chris mentioned, he will bring it up every single time. I think I would have a problem with a woman that brought it up every single time that it happened, because like it disturbs the peace. And as a man, I value peace. Like I want to be able to just chill some days.
Oh, for sure.
And if we're having a good time and we're talking and we're good,
Yeah, don't bring it up then. Don't
and
do
then
that.
and then I cut you off by accident and you upset, you should be almost, I feel like a woman should be fearful of me being upset at her for getting upset.
But that's
Is
like,
that toxic?
I don't.
that's kind of like
that's
reverse
not-
racism, bro.
Yeah.
I get you. I get you from the
I feel like
standpoint
it's a
of like,
healthy aspect.
from the standpoint of like, we were in harmony right now. I accidentally did something that's a trigger for you.
Yes.
And you blew up on me for it instead of just like,
Yeah.
talked about this. Like, this
Cool.
is what this makes me feel like. So, basically, in those scenarios, people just communicate. Don't blow up because you're gonna create situations that you can't cap. You open Pandora's box, you're messed up.
I think the best situation in that case is to wait after or wait later on to like address the situation.
Because you could be in a happy moment though. See, that's the thing. Like when you're talking about like when to address it now, when do you address it? As a woman, when does she address it?
See,
You know what I mean?
As a woman, she addresses it whenever she pleases,
right.
and that's what happens.
I don't know. I don't know.
I know that's not what you agree with, but that. I'm speaking from my own experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they do.
That's what they
It'll be
do.
calm and it'll be cool. So remember yesterday when it's like, whoa, you got receipts on deck. What's going on?
Yes.
But when
so
do
you
you
don't want-
expect,
you don't-
when do you expect them to address it then, for you personally? Because like you said, if you don't want them to start the war within themselves and have them harbor
Yeah,
resentment
because I
against
know
you,
I know what comes with that. So tell me immediately.
Yep,
If I mess
that's
up,
me.
please talk
That's
to me
me,
so I
yeah.
understand.
That's
if I
me.
do something and it becomes habitual because it's a pattern for myself,
yeah,
okay, understand that it's a process.
yeah.
And it's gonna take me some time to unlearn this behavior.
Oh, for
because
sure.
that's what it is.
But it's the acknowledgement of you knowing
It's
that
not just acknowledgement because I will acknowledge it, but they'll be like, well, you're still doing it. And it's like, okay, but this is a process
Yeah.
for me to break this.
For
Because
sure.
Matt's
Absolutely.
example, this is what I've been doing with my family forever, and no one feels any ways about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now I'm with you, your family doesn't operate this way, so you're taking it like boom, and I'm like, shoot, how
Yes.
do I find the middle ground?
Yeah.
So this is where in a relationship, where they say it's 50-50, blah, 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 habitual habits that you hate, you gotta work with me on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't blow up every single second, work with me on that.
Yeah,
That's
fair
all
enough.
it is. That's all it is.
Fair enough.
And this is where accountability on both sides comes in, because me as a person, as a perpetrator, it's like, okay, I gotta be mindful of what I say.
Yeah.
Because I can't just say something and then you blow up and me be like, well, you know, I didn't mean it. That's not right. And on the flip side, if you know that I'm trying to work through something that is a habitual thing, understand that there's a learning curve. It's going to take me some time. I'm not going to be able to do everything, drop that cold turkey. There's always going to be a process.
So,
with certain
so
things.
what if it takes longer than she would like?
Then that's how it's going to be. You're going to have different issues and conversations with that. But I mean, this is where I think if you lead it with patience in your relationship and you kind of set the standard, especially as a man, of like how you want to communicate things, and you are doing this, even if she isn't, I feel like it's just going to help you overall in situations like this. Because it's like, yo, like sit down with her and be like, yo, I get you. I'm doing this. I'm messing up. Like, it's going to take me some time. Just be real.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
But
like,
you say- but then
sometimes
you-
that helps.
But then you say it over and over again.
You
say
will
it for,
become
like,
tired of it.
Months,
Your patience will.
years, and now you're like,
Like, I know your accountability
Like-
is there. Like, obviously, you say, like, you have to be accountable for your actions, and you can be as a man. Like, say, like, you know what, I'm sorry. Saying I'm sorry is part of being accountable for your actions, especially when
I
you
think
don't.
it's the first step,
When
yeah.
when you don't meet what you have been saying that you would do, right? So, in your accountability, I do believe that, especially when your partner is supposed to be looking at you in like a positive light, that they would assume that you are taking this upon yourself, right? So addressing it every single time then becomes nagging.
Yeah. Like if this was the issue, if you and I were together and you were and I made it clear that cutting me off was an issue for me, I wouldn't find much purpose in letting you know every single time when you cut me off, because I spoke to you about it already. So I'm aware and you're aware that you know how it makes me feel.
so when would you bring it up again?
When do you bring it up? That's my point.
This is why I'm saying bring it up every single time, because
Every
the point
single
of
time?
the point of you bringing it up is
That's
because
nagging.
that means you need to correct the behavior, fam.
You could-
That's the only way it's gonna
You're
go away.
trying. You're trying
No,
to correct the
no,
behavior.
oh, that's
No,
BS.
but-
You can't try it. You're gonna try to fail. You have to do it.
How many
You
times
can't
can you
believe
say
in something.
sorry?
You have to know. You know what I
It's
mean?
not about
Yeah.
saying
It's
sorry.
not
It's
about
the
saying
correct
sorry.
thing.
Sorry
It's
is
the
the worst
worst
thing in the
thing.
world.
And that's the
You
thing.
gotta provide the action,
My
especially
point
as a
is-
man. If you do not provide the action, you're
Exactly.
always gonna
That's
have
what I'm
problems.
talking about. That's what I'm
Always
talking
gonna
about.
have problems.
How many times can you say sorry before not doing the action? That's the thing. You have to actually do it. And I think
Yeah, bro,
that's
you have to.
you have to fix the issue.
And if you are fixing the issue by, okay, this time you didn't say it, this time you didn't say it, and this time you cut her off, you're like, oh, my bad. That should be a blind. on
I
the
would
other side.
appreciate that.
That should be a
Yeah.
blind
I
on the
allow
other
that
side.
because it's the
'Cause you-
correcting. You're correcting yourself.
And that's when you're not gonna have any more issues, and that's when it doesn't become negative for you or for her or vice versa.
And she would have definitely appreciaed because like, oh, he just corrected himself.
She
He's
should
getting
appreciate
it.
it.
Yeah.
So
Life is fluid.
She should,
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't like being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I've gotten flamed for things where I'm just like, yo, you know that you just did the same thing to me and I didn't say nothing to you.
Yeah.
You just flamed me?
Yeah.
Alright.
Life is fluid.
And that's in my memory bank. It's all right.
Don't worry, my eyes know.
No, it's true though, because it's like you do your best, and she should, look at that and appreciate that you're trying, even if you mess up.
Yeah.
But then there's those that look at that one thing and just
Hang on into dear life.
humans are
Like it's life support.
are natural at
Like, no,
humans
bro.
are natural at focusing on the negative. So no matter how much you're trying, they would still focus on that one few times and still nag you about that.
I
So
also
how do
think
you?
that's a decision too, because I think we're conditioned to see the negative. Like I see you guys, and I see so many positive things. I remember so many positive moments. I don't remember the negative when it comes to any of you guys.
Yes, true. Yeah.
And I could probably say the same thing for each of you.
I wonder why that is, though. I wonder why that is with us, but
That's
like
because we've
with
always
other
led with
people.
positivity.
Yeah.
And we've always were accountable for each other, and this is all the things that I'm saying, right? So people throw all these different quotes for us, like, yeah, human beings, it's so much easier for us to remember the negative. Yeah, because pain hurts, and we feel that.
Yeah.
But if we don't appreciate the positive, how are we gonna remember that? You know what I mean? If we don't take in those moments, how are we gonna remember that? We were able to do that for decades.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So that's the difference there. You know?
Yeah.
I think there's a little bit of discipline upon yourself, though, that when
100%.
something bad happens or when something sour happens, that like looking at the person and saying like more so their, I don't know if it's worth or if it's more like their innocence. Like this person did it, but they didn't mean it.
Disconnecting the situation from the person.
Yeah. And I think that's what I think a lot of people lack in our society, which is like that discipline to say this person didn't mean it. What could have caused this person to do that? Like I'm driving my car, this guy jaywalks in front of my car, I slam on my brakes. You know what? He was probably rushing to go do something. I'm not cussing at him. I'm not speaking badness about him, and I'm saying like, oh, these young people, these blah, 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 or whatever. There's a
society.
discipline inside yourself that almost says like, okay, like the world is genuinely good. Let's look at it like that.
100%.
You know what I mean?
I think when you see the good in people, your scope changes for a lot of different things. Like there's times I'll look for change. I'm like, damn, where's that toonie I had? Or dang, someone else needed it more than I did. That's
Yeah.
the way that I think about it, right? You know what I mean? Because there's times where I'm like, yo, I need that loony. I walk. I'm like, thank you, God.
Yes.
Put that loony up, and it's for me. You know what I mean? So
That's it.
that's what I mean. Life is fluid. So yeah.
That's a good look. All right. Shoot, let me see if I can get this into a good question.
Oh, yeah,
Oh
table.
yeah, let's table that. All right, cool. It's kind of in follow-up. It's in follow-up to that. So, I've talked with my homies before about the indirection that a woman comes to you with her issues. So-
Damn, if you gonna have this like woman shit, I have
I
at
mean,
least
like-
a couple of women at the table.
You can bring the women. Bring
First
the
of all,
women.
you
Bring
was
the women.
warned.
It's all good. It's
Oh
all good.
God.
All right. But it's cool. We handling them. We having good discussion. It's all
I
good.
guess one of us
It's all
had to be
good.
devil's advocate.
I got
It's
you.
all
I got
good.
you.
Yeah.
I got you.
So the indirection of a woman when there is an issue, right? So women are, I will say,
Some.
timid, more timid than a man. If a man has an issue, very direct, more so. Women are more like
Go around the problem.
Bush, yeah,
Okay.
right, cool. And I feel like women do that for the men that they care about, because when the women become too direct, if they come to you and just say like you're doing this wrong, this is that, and they're not gentle about it, then you've already lost.
What?
I
Yeah.
feel that's weird.
I
I
don't-
feel
I
like
don't-
with
I
that,
feel that's weird.
I
I
feel
find
like
that
I
weird.
feel like no,
I like
feel
women
that
who are
weird.
very like
Direct to the thing.
stern and direct and rough. I love that. I don't know why.
But here's the thing. I feel like with what you just said, it's like a woman can't win because if they're direct, they're too masculine. But if they go around the bush, they're not being direct enough, which is causing you and your relationship more problems.
I'm not saying like being indirect is a bad thing. I don't think being indirect is a bad thing. I think it's actually, in a sense, a good sign. That's why I was talking about like the healthiness of a man's.
I strongly
so.
disagree. The reason I strongly disagree, and I'm going to use one of the other managers I work with like that. She's a lovely lady, dope person, very passive aggressive. I
Yes.
hate that stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Why do I dislike people who are very passive aggressive? Because that means you're harboring something that you're not telling me.
Yes.
Now you're creating issues over here on this side, and she actually does create issues sometimes, indirectly, because she's passive aggressive.
Okay.
People can feel the, I guess,
The
Tension.
not the tension, but
Or
the
the
disingenuousness of like what she says to people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because she's like not trying to hurt your feelings, but she's not trying to tell you. Just tell me. You know what I mean? Just speak. Sometimes when you try to go around the bush, it seems like you're doing something else other than trying to solve the situation or go through the situation. You know what I mean? Like
And it takes
Possibly.
longer sometimes.
Complain.
it takes way longer, and sometimes you just dive into things that you shouldn't have to dive into, all because the root of the issue was right here, and y'all wanted to go to Narnia to come back.
Okay. For instance, we talked on the last issue of when I was cutting off Brittany, for instance, or whatever, right? She will obviously be softer the first time that she says it to me.
For sure.
The 10th time that she has to remind me, she's not soft anymore. She gonna be direct. Is indirect, like that gentleness of a woman, essentially the good sign? Because once you've lost that, now it's like, okay, cool. Like, but I can understand, like, as a guy, we kind of just say an issue. We have a fight. If it's a fight between me and you, Chris, we'll done it tonight.
But that's because you and I are like alpha type guys that will do that because we're just trying to get this done.
Yes.
So we're gonna do with this ish no more. It's done.
Understood. Yes.
Most guys are not like that nowadays.
Cool. So
That stuff kind of died in the early 2000s, bro. That's gone.
Cool.
These guys
So
are
if your
soft.
woman was direct with you from the 10th time, that pushes you to go do it, should she be that on the first try?
Honestly, no, that's not what I'm saying. My thing is like, if she has to tell me the 10th time, I'm already messing up. That was my point earlier.
Okay.
Because she, like 3-4 times, okay, okay, I get it. But 10 times, bruh, I'm messing up.
Yeah.
I got to be able to correct something at some point in time. The onus has to still fall on me if I'm doing something that's wrong, or doing something that is not conducive to us growing together. Because right or wrong is indifferent. Like you could be doing something that's not wrong, but could affect somebody else. So you gotta change up a little bit.
So is there a way to communicate as a woman, straightforward but in a soft way?
I think you when you're with your partner, you should know how to communicate with your partner. If you don't, that's gonna be totally rough for you because
Yep.
you're gonna have to have those hard conversations. You're gonna have to have those rough conversations. There's a lot of people walking around that are in interracial relationships, and there's a lot of things you have to speak to. You know what I mean? Like, what if y'all have different religions? You're gonna have to have a very hard conversation.
Yeah.
What if your the guy's parents is just not rocking with the girl, or vice versa? You're gonna have to have a lot of, challenging conversations. So if you can't speak freely or have open communication where you can comprehend what's happening and then make an action plan going forward, it's gonna be rough.
And I
And the
think-
internet's gonna control you with quotes, and then you're
Yeah.
gonna mush up your relationship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
them people drive me nuts.
I just feel like when we're discussing a relationship, it's like, okay, you want a woman to tell you to direct, but that's too masculine. And when she goes around the bush, it's not direct enough because it's creating more issues. So my issue is, I feel like when you as a man are getting into a relationship with a woman, like Chris said, not everything is going to be roses and daisies, right?
Sure.
There's
No doubt.
going to be a lot of difficult conversations where you're going to need her to be direct with
Understood.
you. Just like because some certain situations are uncomfortable and you can't go around the bush and you can't be, well, honey, I was thinking, like you have to be stern and you have to be direct about the things that are going to allow your relationship to grow. And it's going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't necessarily also think that being direct is like a masculine trait. I think that being direct is just being direct.
I don't think it's a masculine trait
You don't
either,
think-
but I've heard some men say that they don't like a woman who's too direct because it's
Because
See,
they
they don't
there's a
have-
difference
because-
between
because
a
those men-
woman being direct and a woman being rude and aggressive.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is different.
Yeah.
Totally different things. You can, like, you guys know my older sisters. My eldest sister is very rough with everyone. She's very blunt and very direct, but she's not rude about it. So around like different men and older people, like they'll take it as like, yo, she's like, you're really forward. They don't say, yo, you're so aggressive and rude, you little person. They just say you're very forward. Do you know what I mean?
In a sense, though, you look at that and you say, traditionally, is that womanly? Or is
I
that,
think so. Because when we think of the women, especially in our lives, the women that raised us, they were very strong,
And
forward
direct
women.
people.
I say that, they're direct, but
Very
like,
direct.
as I said, that's more so, I say, all our culture. But do you believe, like, in the traditionalist aspect, is what I asked,
Okay.
that women are to be direct or they are to be soft-spoken? They are to approach you softly as
You can
opposed
be
to
both. Can you not?
softly direct?
Yes. I can be like, Matthew.
I gotta hear what you mean by softly, because I don't get it.
Because I feel,
I think what he means is like gently, not people pleasing type way, but gently just letting someone know that this is wrong. So like, I guess for example, it's like saying how, okay, I know that you didn't mean to do this, but you know, I want you to do it like this next time.
See,
Yeah, that's
I feel
more
like that
direct.
is way. I think that's
Is that not-
masculine as F.
Yeah.
That's masculine.
I would rather
think that's-
I would rather the woman be fiery as heck and me be the calm and cooling presence, because I feel like that's a wicked balance to have.
But that's what I mean by soft.
Especially when you have
Am I
children.
wrong with
No, that was actually
exactly
that's
what
more
it is.
Check me, check me.
Yeah.
Especially when
So
you have
that's-
children, because I'm not gonna be running up into a school screaming at people. Look how big I am, bro. I'm not gonna do that. Now, my lady, hell yeah, she can come in there screaming, "You teachers, blah blah blah. You principal, don't do this with my kids, blah blah." And I come in just backing it up like, yeah. Because if they do anything out of line, what happens? The lion's gonna come out, and I gotta deal with people, and it's gonna be
Yeah.
different. It's another level. You know what I mean? So.
But do you see that as softly direct?
I don't see that as women. I feel like
don't see that
the
as
man,
woman?
if somebody speaks over my wife, I'm going to, the beast comes out.
That is different.
Right?
Yes.
Cool.
However,
So, like-
I also want to make sure that my lioness can be a lioness and
Facts.
hunt and do all the
Facts.
things that she needs to do.
Have
And
you
if-
ever had
and
a
if-
woman be like, I have a friend who got into, like, it was just, they were at some type of, like, the passport office or whatever. And the way the person was dealing with them shady. And they're trying to get out the country or whatever. But the point is, the man was like, handle that. And he stepped back and he was so pleased because he knew, like, there was something about her that, according to him, he said he loved how she took control of the situation in a way where if he needed to come out, if he needed to get up
Yeah.
and handle things, he would. But he knew his lady had it.
Okay.
And it was
Yeah.
attractive to him.
Just like so, I'll give you an example. Old lady, we're at dinner. These guys were just rude and messed up the entire order. I was like, you know what? It's cool. We're just gonna balance or whatever. She's like, nah, we're not dealing with none of this. You're doing this. You're paying for all of this. Blah blah blah. Please come over here, as like lady, like not like how
Yeah.
I'm being all super crazy.
Yeah, not yeah.
But called the person over and was like, "Yo, we ordered this. This is what we wanted to have. Blah blah blah. This order is incorrect. What are you guys gonna do about it?" And just left it. I was like, "Ooh." I blushed to you. You want dessert too? I got you. Let's go. So I feel like it has to be a balance of both, because if ladies in on the web, if you're trying to be my woman, I need you to be able to step to a plate and be equals with me.
Amen.
You know what I mean? Like my side's gonna be very different. I'm gonna be in charge and command of a whole bunch of different scope of things that you will never have to touch, which is why I'm here, and vice versa. I think where we meet in the middle is we got to be able to protect each other. So if she's timid and soft, I don't want that.
Because I feel like when you say
Especially
come
as a
to me
black man.
soft,
Sorry,
like,
but
no,
especially as a black man.
I feel like when you say, she needs to deal with me soft, I feel like, why does she need to deal with you soft and not direct? Because to me, by you saying that, makes me feel like you're trying to get her to appeal to your ego, not to the issue at hand.
Do you believe there's a man's ego?
Of course, sometimes, yeah.
Okay,
Why do you
cool.
want her to deal with you soft? Like, when I say soft, I mean like in the way, like if she's being aggressive and, shouting, obviously she can't get, you can't communicate in that way.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? There's no way. Right? But I feel like there's a way that she can communicate the way how I'm communicating with you right now.
Yeah.
I'm not speaking to you in a soft way, but I'm being very stern.
Yeah.
I'm being
I don't
direct.
think you're being stern. I think you're being direct. But I think what Matt's coming from is be proper about it. That's all it is. Just
Sure.
be proper.
Yeah.
There's an attractiveness to a woman speaking confidently and speaking assertiveness.
Being able to
towards
assert
you.
herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's different than the aggressiveness.
Oh,
that-
absolutely.
that-
Yes, it's-
Absolutely.
That we might.
I
be-
wouldn't expect a regular person to deal with that at all.
Okay.
Like, I'm not,
You need to stop. Nah, I may act like that with y'all because, like, we're just friends and everything. But I would never,
Yeah.
like, if we were having a serious conversation, I would never, come at you that way. You'd see a different side. I just do it for the joke side.
Having
I think
said
that-
that,
yeah,
having said
I
that,
think what you're about to say. I think I know what you're about
I
to say.
just, I would not, for me, I couldn't be with someone that confrontational in public.
oh, me
It's-
neither, bro.
I don't want somebody as confrontational as
I don't
am.
want anyone who's confrontational.
No.
I want someone
Yeah.
who's confident. Someone who
Oh.
can assert. When there's a
Assertive, yeah.
situation to speak up, she
Yeah.
is comfortable speaking up.
Absolutely.
And can
Yeah.
still be a lady while she's speaking up and walk out of that place with the same dignity and respect and allure that she walked in with.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm
I
talking
think,
about.
yeah. So I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
then.
I'm not talking about them Scarborough girls that be like, hey, what you talking about? Blah, 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 blah. I don't know. That's
Yeah.
no.
Yo, you
There's
have a
a
whole
way
bunch of
to-
Scarborough girls on you.
That's okay. East side all day. I will
Mute
change the
somebody?
channel. That's fine.
I guess I just expect others to approach situations like how I do it myself. And I can't expect that fully because everyone's not like me.
Yeah.
We're all snowflakes.
But, yeah. But there's ways to go about talking to people, and when you're doing all that, like, it's just not attractive. Like, I want you to have confidence and stuff to speak to people and, manage situations in a way that we can get out of it with the person not being so back and forth with you like that. Like, it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah, 100%. When you speak up and you are trying to, I guess, resolve a situation, it should be resolved. You shouldn't be able to leave with any sort of negative feelings on either sides. If she can do that, yeah, she's gonna win. She's gonna win easy.
Shut up.
Ooh. Shoot.
All right, cool. Oh, table that one. I think we good. I think we good on that one. Gotta move it along. All right. So, I guess it speaks to arguments in general. So, when you do end an argument and it's to each their own, right?
What do you mean, to each your own, like?
To each their own.
Agree
When
to
it's
disagree type of thing?
Agree to disagree. That's the right thing. So, you don't agree with what the other partner has said, and they don't agree with what you say. What is the proper protocol, I guess you could say, to
move on from that.
grow together with that?
To move on.
I agree with that. It definitely
You
move
can't
on.
just ignore it, though.
You're not ignoring it. You're choosing to move on. Because what is the solution if you don't agree with me and I don't agree with you? It's just gonna create this a never-ending cycle.
That's my point, though. What is that never-ending cycle?
There is no solution. So we're gonna agree that you don't agree with me, I don't agree with you.
The only
we're moving
solution
on.
outside of that is for one person to cave. And on top of that, if you cave, is it because you now see the other argument and now you agree with the argument, or you're just trying to done the whole situation so you agree anyways and you fall into that trap, which is not good
Where you harbor resentment now.
because now you're in a cycle of funk that you don't want to be in.
You can't win.
So you just move on from it.
Yes,
There's so many
move
times where I've
on.
moved on
Move
from
on, to be
situations.
No. Okay, all right. For instance, I want to put the soap on the sink.
Yep,
You want to put the soap under the counter.
yeah,
We both agree and point their reasons as to why it should be here,
yeah,
right? Cool. We will continuously run into that argument.
yeah.
Cool. How do you solve that?
You solve it by understanding that this argument is going to get bigger and bigger and is going to create something that should have never been created. So you are going to deal with, hey, I believe it's going to go here, and then he believes it's going to go there. And I'm going to deal with that and move on.
That's an ideal world.
That's
an ideal
nah,
world.
bro.
No,
But it is because my thing, and I'm only speaking from my perspective as a man. It's just like honestly, if it gets to a point where
If
it's
it's
really
not
not
that
that deep.
Yeah, if
And-
it's not
and-
that
and-
deep.
and if
That's-
I gave
that's-
the most simple.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I get it.
If it has to be.
But I'm
it
gonna
has
use
to
an
be
example.
yeah.
Like I'm with my shorty, she's like, no, we have to put it under the sink because, or put it in this cabinet because it's neater and blah blah blah. I'm like, but people need to wash their hands. So like,
My point.
Yeah.
Let's just have it
Arguments for
out.
both. Yes, exactly.
Okay, okay, cool. So I'll be like, okay, cool. You want to do it that way? Cool. People have nasty hands after they wash their butt. Cool. That's okay. We're gonna let that slide and see how long that goes until she changes her mind and say you were right.
Oh,
That's
so
what's
you
gonna
think
happen.
that she's gonna change
So
her
you
mind?
just caved, bro.
Oh,
You didn't catch what he did.
Huh?
He gave an example, so then when the situation does happen, guess what she's gonna do afterwards? She's not gonna have it in
What
there
you
anymore.
think of her scenario of what
Exactly.
she just did.
He just gave
Maybe
it a
we
s-
do need to switch this.
That's what I'm saying. You didn't
It
book
does
what he
happen.
did.
It happens because you
That's exactly. You didn't book what he did.
bro. You must have like the best woman.
It's learning. It's learning. Yeah, it's literally learning how to play with that.
Yeah.
If she's telling you, oh, it has to be here, I'm like, okay. Instead of you trying to explain, oh, why you have it
It's
there.
a Jamaican in me.
Exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna argue for the same
Exactly.
stupid
I'm just
thing
gonna
for the longest time.
I'm just gonna
Yeah?
simply say
Alright.
an example of why, if this is not here, what's gonna happen.
Cool.
And then when that happens, guess what she's gonna do? She's gonna have it right out there when I literally said.
No,
before.
she didn't even.
Exactly. Nah, it's
Y'all
yeah.
playful and stuff.
It's like sometimes they don't see reason at that
should've
point.
listened to you.
So like, yo, you explain yourself
Yeah.
on a situation, and it's like if when that comes to happen, when it will happen. I'm telling you that right now,
Sometimes
it
when
will
we-
happen.
When we
That's
as
still
men
kinda-
play out of our own ego,
Yeah.
it pushes them to play out of theirs.
Yes.
And that creates a vicious cycle between the two of us, and we're not going to be able to see eye to eye. So sometimes,
So okay.
So that's caving
All right,
in,
continue.
though, isn't it?
No.
That's not caving in?
that is caving in.
Because, like, that's what I'm saying.
It
Like,
is.
'cause you have
No,
to.
I
did
Deciding-
that as a man.
No,
As a man, you
deciding
did.
to
This is
let
great.
go of the argument because
But you let it happen.
Because you actually understand that this is
You
not.
know within your mind.
You did
that
something
is
that
right,
you know
right?
it's dumb, and you said, "No, it's okay. I'll let her do her stupidness." That's caving, bro.
or
let it
choosing to
happen.
move on with the situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give you
Move on with the
another
situation.
simple argument. You guys have a 2-car
And yeah, sometimes you do gotta
inline
go.
garage. She always gets home after you, or you always get home after her, whichever, right? You also get up and go to work early in the morning, right? Cool. You say something like, what can I say? Like, hey, babe, can you switch the cars around when you get home? Or she's asking you that, right? And
I would do it.
you would, I know you would do it. I know you would do
Okay.
it. Cool. But it's
Alright.
easy. But you can say like, hey, but like, if it was me, I would do this. That would be the woman's logic. Or sorry, shoot. That would be the other partner that is less reasonable, logic. I ain't gonna say it's the woman. I ain't gonna say it's the woman.
On fire.
Okay.
That's funny.
So
Almost,
so like if it was understand it's you.
yeah.
But if it was Brittany that was coming home afterwards, who was expected to change the cars around, I almost feel like a guy is still gonna be the one that's gonna be the bigger person.
That's some bullshit. Don't be using me up in that.
I'm just
Don't
just
use
an
my name
example.
up in that.
It's just
Hell
an
nah.
example.
Nah.
Because like
no.
just like Chris said,
No.
he sees a reason.
That was
and he's
the
like,
strongest.
"Fuck."
I was just trying to dance. Make
Yeah, I was trying to make it equal. You know.
Make sure. I'm walking.
Oh my god.
I mean,
Shit.
That's why, as I say, like there's a difference between a man and a woman, in patience and how we deal with.
Me personally, if you
Right?
told me to like if my man told me, yo, B, like I need you to switch the cars for whatever reason, and this is the reason why. I don't think, yes, men operate out of logic, but I think women also have, operate out of logic. Maybe not as much as a man, but we have logical tendencies. Because if you can explain to me why I should switch the cars, well, you get out of the house first. You're gonna leave first, so it makes no sense for your car to be in the garage.
It's the same action though. It's just either you're doing it or I'm doing it. In the morning, I can switch the cars around just like you can.
Sure, why not? Then what's the issue?
So that's my point.
Yeah.
There's no actual person that is right, essentially, because somebody could say it's the same action of switching the cars around. It's just the fact that because I come home afterwards that you want me to switch the cars around.
Why not? Because I come home first. Does it make sense? But
No,
it's-
no, it doesn't. It's just a simple action. Like, okay,
Okay.
before you go to work, you have to move a car.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
So then who?
No.
You think women? Sorry.
What is the issue?
I
I'm still trying to
definitely
figure out the
think,
issue.
yeah, I definitely think they would, but it just
I think-
depends on the person, depends on the situation.
Exactly.
It
Like,
is fluid,
I feel
right?
like your
That too.
question is like it's
like,
like
what if you're-
specific
it's
to somebody.
It's the impasse, and
Yeah.
I'm basically thinking more so that there is also in the point of an impasse that there has to be some sort of growth from the man. I just think so.
There has to be some sort of what?
Growth from the man. Growth from the man. And you said you did it yourself
in what
when you
sense?
said, "Hey,
Is
you know
there-
what? Like, I'm gonna let her do her stupidness, and then she's going to see how this happens."
But that's not always going to be my decision-making
yeah, yeah,
process,
yeah.
right? That's not always going to be it. Sometimes,
But you can see. Well, she will see you get up in the morning and move the cars.
yeah.
Right? Cool. And then she's going to say, after a while, oh, no, I'm going to move the car. You think that that is going to be her logic?
No.
So what would be your solution to this cycle? Would you now just harbor it? Like, what happens?
But see, this is the thing. I don't care about shit like that. So I would just
I'm
do
trying
it.
to give the easiest example.
I get it.
because
Give a difficult
My
example.
thing is
because
like,
that-
I don't
Alright,
make,
let me
I don't
give you
make
different-
big things like washing dishes. I don't care about none of that stuff.
Okay.
If it's duty as a man, just operate through duty. You got to do it because no one cares about how you feel. You just got to do it.
I'm trying to think
But
of-
using that example, I actually had one. This might be a bad example. Don't flame us for it, but the Cosby Show.
Okay.
There was an episode where one of the sisters, the eldest sister, her dude was Alvin, that guy. He was funny.
Oh,
Yeah.
He was like, he basically said, Mr. Huxtable, Miss Huxtable, like, how come you're getting your wife coffee? She should be getting you coffee, type of
Yes.
thing. And he was like, they were like, yeah, we get coffee for each other. Like, what's
Yeah.
the big deal?
Yeah.
My point.
That's where I live. If you can't see that, you
Yeah.
can't be
Yeah,
with
problem.
Prius.
Understood.
Yeah.
It's just don't make life hard. You know what I mean? If I said, babe, can you move the car? When I get home, I expect, or when I come through or whatever, I expect the cars to be moved. And if it isn't, I'm gonna have a conversation with you. Like, why'd you move the cars? I asked you to do this shit. It was good.
I think.
Okay.
I think what Chris is saying is like something so trivial as dishes and car and
Understood.
coffee.
Yeah.
It's something that
We
is
gotta be able to move past that
Yeah.
because
Absolutely. That's small stuff. I'm trying to think of something that would be a bigger issue.
more complex of an issue where two
Yeah.
people would not budge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe you can come back.
Yeah, we'll come.
We
back.
have no. I got an example.
I think I have a question. I have one for you guys because I saw this on someone sent me this on TikTok. So this guy, he said, "Is it wrong for me to be upset with my wife?" Okay, no, I can't even ask that question that way. Yeah. Was it wrong for me to be upset with my wife for wanting to name our son after her dead husband? Now, peep this. So in this situation, she said, I think the husband's name was James or something like that. So she's like, hey babe, I want to name him James. Is that a good? He's like, yeah, I think that's a great name, but like I don't feel cool with you naming our son after your dead husband.
Yes, absolutely.
That's kind of weird for me. So
Yeah.
I ain't with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was like, okay. She left it alone. Now, I think there was like a dinner thing where they all got together, her sisters, her mom, or whatever, and they were talking about names again for their baby that was coming. And she's like, oh, what about the name Oliver? He was like, yo, Oliver's a sick name. I got that. Let's do Oliver. He was with it. Now, the sister was like James? And he was like, wait, hey, what you mean, like James? Then he found out that Oliver was her dead husband's middle name.
Oh God.
So he's like, yo, babe, okay, let me get something real quick.
Okay.
We're not naming our son after your dead husband. Like, what do you want from me? So his question to TikTok, which I don't know why he did that, weird. Is it wrong for me to be upset at my wife
Yes!
for this?
It's not.
Wrong to be
It's
upset.
not wrong to be upset.
should be. He should be upset.
upset.
No, I'm saying
He's
he
not
should. No, I'm
Oh,
saying
yeah,
he should be.
yeah, so-
Yeah.
yeah.
But they're
should be
also
upset.
at a place where she's still,
Cool. She wants this.
everything that we've all the questions we asked today. So she's basically not listening to him. and trying to, renege on the same conversation over and over again.
Yes.
Trying to be slick about it too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So does she cave then?
Who is?
No.
What is the solution? Yeah.
So what is the solution? This is basically what we're looking for. So what is the solution here?
Yes.
That's a tough one.
First of all,
I'ma give
it's
you-
not that tough.
Well,
I'm
it's
sorry.
not- it's a
I'm
tough
sorry.
one.
I'm sorry. No.
I understand it's not that tough because I think why
No,
would I
no, no.
want to name my child after someone who's no longer here
No.
or in part of my past? But so in that sense, like I agree with you. It's
Yeah.
not a tough decision, but it's tough for me in the sense of like, how would we move past it? That's
Good.
it's
Yeah.
tough. That's
Yeah.
tough because for me it's self-explanatory. But in that situation, I'm like, how do you not see what the issue is there?
There's underlying issues there too.
Oh, for
Yes.
sure. For
So,
sure.
like-
We already know that.
First of all, she's
Oh,
already-
also the guy who's been dead for 8 years, so that's more
Yeah,
context.
no. So first of all, it already tells me she's still hanging on to that.
What do you do, Siobhan? What do you do in this situation?
You really want to ask me that question? 'Cause
Yes.
I would have left that.
Yo, this
situation.
is the table, man.
I would have left that situation. I ain't gonna hold you.
Because leave your kid.
No. I wouldn't leave the kid. But like I don't know.
your
if-
wife.
Yeah.
You leave the wife?
Cause dude, that's a
That's
woman.
not-
No.
You
no.
would leave the wife.
Bridget, that is not. Bridget,
Is
that is not a woman.
My man said, Bridget!
Yeah, exactly. No, that is not a woman who wants to be who should have been married to somebody else. That is not a woman. She's not. She has not let go of that relationship that she had with that man.
So you don't
So,
think that?
and the mere fact that you try to trick me twice to name your dead use your dead husband's name for my son? No, I'm sorry. I don't have
All
that
right, the
kind.
trickery kind of messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
so
trickery's
like,
kinda messed
exactly.
up.
So if,
Yeah,
like
the
for me,
trickery's kinda
and
messed
I'm
up.
like, listen, I'm someone at this point. I don't have that patience. I don't.
I'll
So
give
I'm
you
like,
that.
so
So yours
there-
is
there's-
kinda hefty, you're saying that
Caught.
you would divorce your wife.
that is, Bridget, that is,
365 day separation period. After the separation period,
girl,
you're gonna file for divorce.
there you go.
girl,
You
I'm
know how
sorry.
costly that is?
First of all, because you're playing with a dangerous game. That is a woman who still is not over her past traumas. I'm not.
But he's not
Sorry,
there.
is he truly a threat to you because he's no longer here?
That's what I'm saying. He's not even there anymore.
And it's
That's
probably
just a
the
question.
principle. It's the principle.
Hey,
baby.
No.
That's an argument of the woman, you know.
Yeah,
She's gonna be
she-
like,
that would
why?
be her
Why is
argument.
it so
Yes,
bad?
that would be
Da-da-da.
her argument. But I'm like, hello, you just tried to literally name my son after your dead husband twice.
You tried to trick me.
Twice.
Yeah, I
Dishonest.
think mostly you have to talk about the trickery.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It's not her really wanting to name the son. That's whatever.
But like,
because it's just a name
but,
at the end
but
of
it's
the day.
also what was behind the trickery.
meaning.
It's the meaning, right? But the trickery. That's
But yes, but what was the meaning behind that trickery, bro?
Why did she need to lie?
Regin, I don't have that patience, bro. I don't.
She needed to lie
And then- and-
because
and especially-
What
and
made it
especially-
even worse is that she didn't even lie. She omitted
Yes.
by
That's
leading
different.
with, "How about Oliver?"
yeah.
And
Yeah.
the only reason why he caught is because the sister was like, "Huh?" Like James. So the mom was like, "Oh, it's just a name. It's just a name. Like, why should it matter? It's just a name." The sister was like, "Yo, that's kind of weird."
Yeah.
So you leaving?
Yes. Regin, that.
leave-
Regin.
what are you doing, man?
So
What do
your
you do in
bond
this situation?
with your wife is that weak that you would leave over that.
Regin, that is not. If she has
She
that.
didn't cheat on you. Like, the baby is your baby.
If she,
fam.
it don't matter, Regin.
It's not like Ghost where she's
if
rubbing
You
out.
got money. You got money. You got separation
if
money.
she is still hanging on to
Child
that dead
support.
husband, bro.
Personally,
But that doesn't
Like-
mean that doesn't mean that she doesn't love you. That doesn't mean that she doesn't want to build a life with you. Also, I also forgot another part to the story because it just came in. So, as when the husband died, she basically had a baby. She miscarried.
Okay.
So that was a connection there. She miscarried the baby after the man died.
So,
So
Regin,
that's
that's
why the James came in.
Regin, that is an unloading of trauma that she has not gone through, bro.
So you think divorcing your
So now,
gonna make that better?
no, so now that's even worse because now I'm like, bro, what homework did you have on this woman before you married her, bro?
It's not even that, man.
No, but
It's-
I think once you're in that, then you kind of have to.
Nah,
like,
man, like dog, that's
You
something.
say
it's
that
love.
now, but trust me, if you love it, like all
know what? I kinda
BS
believe him,
aside,
too. I'm not
I
gonna
kind of
lie.
believe
I
him
never
still.
believe
I'm
him.
not gonna lie,
No.
but I feel like all things aside, if this woman is the love of your life. Yes, you say divorce. remember, you're married. A, y'all got assets together. B, you have a child coming together.
I got
Three,
another question coming up.
it's cheaper. It is cheaper to keep her.
definitely cheaper to
All
keep
right,
her.
you gonna divorce
Divorce
her,
is too hefty, man.
raise that child on her own, possibly get with somebody named James or Oliver, raising your child.
Yeah, I feel like the opportunity for
Sorry, sorry, my bad.
your legacy, if you will, because as men, we all want to have a legacy. We all want to have kids. We all want a son to carry our name. We all want that stuff. I want a daughter first, but hey, I digress. Damn, I really digress. I don't remember what the hell I was going to say.
What would you do in the situation?
What I do in this situation?
Be honest.
Yo, honestly, I would have to sit with her and be like, yo, we gotta talk.
Yeah, that's
Yo, straight up, we
I
gotta
understand,
talk.
but when you guys reach that impasse, what is the
impasse?
solution? The impasse of
there's-
she wants this and you want that.
You know what I'm gonna say? No.
No.
There, cool, right? Cool.
That's
cool,
all
cool,
I'm gonna
cool.
say. I'm not gonna get mad about it. I'm like, hey, no,
Yes.
no.
Okay.
What if
That's
she
it.
says, "Hey, yes"?
So the time comes.
You're
The
going-
baby's right there.
So this is what the guy
Can't
said.
say.
No,
Let
this
let her
is- this is
continue with her
also what the guy
stupidness.
said
That,
in the
that can't
story.
happen though.
No, I am
No.
not going to sign. When the baby's born, I'm not gonna sign the
The birth certificate.
birth certificate.
I think that's up to the mom anyway.
No sign.
No.
No.
Oh, okay, okay.
I'm not going to sign the birth certificate.
So if you don't sign the
if you
birth
want to name him James, I'm not signing that.
If you don't sign the birth certificate, then you're relinquishing all rights.
Yeah,
So
that's what I was
technically,
gonna
if she
say.
wanted to file for sole custody,
She
she
can-
wouldn't need to.
she can still
So if
name
she
the
wanted
child
to take your
without you, bro.
child
Oh my
and leave the
God.
country
Sure.
and leave you here,
Yeah,
she
of
could.
course.
Sure,
In a
bro.
recession, Guana.
Bro,
Guana.
they don't.
We're gonna do
That's what
Guana.
Our
so
culture
that's
doesn't
what
need a
comes.
man for the baby to be named. Like women have babies in the hospital and leave the hospital without a man ever being there.
Mm-hmm.
They call their grandma or whatever, and then they just leave the hospital.
So that's what it has to come down to.
So
Comes all the way down to.
You gonna
So
marry
he
your
literally
child?
said,
to the signing.
Me?
Man.
Okay, first, whoa. I'm never ever. Yo, my kid is my kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got a big family. Y'all.
Yes.
So we're taking care of that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Two, no, she's not naming him
James Oliver.
James Oliver.
Yeah, no.
Nah,
No.
that's not happening in that scenario. And the third response I would do with her is I would have to sit with her and be like, yo, we gotta unpack this stuff because
Together. Yeah.
yo, he's not here. Like I'm not dealing with no Will and Jada stuff. Having my kid
And
write a letter for
and that's
Tupac.
why I'm like.
I'm not having that.
'Cause
Why is
after
Willow
see-
writing a letter for
No,
Tupac?
because
She never met him.
Because that exactly because
Tupac died
look what
when we were
happened with
5.
Will, bro. After what we just saw with Will, there's no way I'm sorry.
No, we started with the kids sometime. We didn't do their mashup.
No.
That's what she shaved
Yeah.
her head bald and she wanted cream.
Yeah.
Okay, we know.
Yeah.
We know, guys. Yo, I'm telling you.
No.
I do not rock with Jada. I
No.
think she's the definition of toxic. And she has a big old nutty red table where she spills everything. When you are in a relationship, people, hold it down. Don't tell nobody what he did wrong. Don't tell nobody what she did wrong. Deal with it like adults. Don't be silly.
Cool.
Done.
Yeah, personally, I'd have a discussion before a divorce because
You would.
that's
You
that's
would.
that's not
Yeah, she gotta let that go.
we gotta talk about that.
That's the thing when you come to an impasse, because like sometimes when you come to an impasse, it basically comes down to, even in that naming situation, like a woman can name her child basically whatever she wants. So what happens when that happens? Are you guys just now completely fractured for life?
There has to be a compromise at that point.
kind of hope that you want.
What is the
Because-
compromise?
You wanna
Please
She
tell
can name
me.
the kid,
So-
but not James.
Please tell me.
No, but
wanna
what if
hear-
she
I
named
wanna-
the kid James?
I want to hear this compromise.
Because she just went to the hospital and did it her damn self.
Why would she do it their damn self? He's gonna be in the room with her.
He gonna want to be in the room or whatnot. Hey, I don't
then-
want you to do this.
the name
But-
the name is Olivier then. I don't know, like there has to be some name that we both agree on. That that may be around.
It is not no Olivier. If his name is Oliver, yo.
Yeah.
No.
I
That
don't know,
baby
but
named Chris.
all I'm saying, for me, there has to be. I don't even know. Like for me, it has to be some naming compromise because like
Yeah.
I can't.
Is that trivial though? Do you think that's trivial? Just
I think it's
I
No.
believe there has to be a growth on one side. Or
Yeah.
the other.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
one
saying.
like
one
you
person's
said.
gonna
At
have
some
to
point,
cave, so
yeah.
the other
I
person
feel
can-
like
At some point, someone has to cave.
in
Yeah.
general,
At
like
that
if
Yes.
if we're
or
looking at it
submit,
from
if we want to use that word.
if we're looking
And who should?
Honestly, men need to submit too.
I understand. We are to
In
use
that
all the
situation?
tools of our lives for our women. but it does say women submit to your husbands.
100%.
Cool. So you don't
But
think?
why? But why do you think that it says that? Because there's a reason for it.
What do you think is the?
Go ahead.
Let me just
Go
let me
ahead,
keep
Chris.
going. Who do you think that God intended to be the head of the household? Who do you think God intended to be the head of the household?
Watch this.
Chris,
The
go
church.
ahead that.
No, man, come on, man. Me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Like he was speaking
sure.
as
So, yes,
the
the
man
man.
being the
But
head.
why?
Of the household.
Why is the man the head?
Why?
Because he is the protector.
Yes.
By biological
And-
standpoints,
And you
all
don't
of us
believe
here
it's
are
more
bigger than
so off
Brittany.
of
All of us are bigger than Brittany.
absolutely.
All of us are stronger. I'm sorry, Brittany.
I beg
So-
to differ.
so you're-
What's it to do?
So you're,
Beg to
you're
differ
basing
how?
it off of the fact that,
Big Siobhan said, "Ooh."
so you base the fact that God put men at the head of the household basically off of the fact that he's bigger.
That we are bigger, that we are stronger, that in terms of how our mechanism is as a man, as a male human being,
Yes.
and how we operate, it's very different from how a female human being operates. And there's different characteristics which each that they have to do.
skills.
Like as a woman, there is a I should
Nurturing
say as a
aspect.
female, there's a nurturing aspect that we cannot tap into.
Cool.
And we will never be able to tap into.
So just like you think that there's a nurturing aspect of a woman, you don't think there's more of a reasoning aspect of a man?
No, I think there is also a nurturing aspect of a man.
Do you think it's the same as a woman?
No.
Of course, it's not the
No.
same.
Okay, I do believe there's differences between a man and a
We
woman.
already proven this from the
Absolutely.
last time when we had this discussion when I said single fathers, their kids are way more confident.
Okay.
They do better in school, X, Y, Z. There's less stress because men don't carry emotion the same way that women do.
Okay.
So when the dishes aren't washed, we're not going to scream for an
Talk
hour.
about
Good.
dishwashers.
I'm just using an example. I'm not going to scream for an hour about it.
Dog, the way how we spent an hour on that dishwashing, that was the dumbest thing
It's
we
just
ever
gonna be
did.
like, yo, it's gonna be like, why didn't you do this? I asked you to do this before I got home. Why is this not done?
Cool.
Go clean this now, and you're gonna go do that if your dad tells you to do that. My dad says that. I'm like, damn, I'm gonna go do this.
Okay.
My mom, she might ring off my ears for a little bit longer than my dad.
Or say, I'm gonna tell your daddy. This is the same thing. You know what I mean? Like I feel like
That came up a couple times, and I'm like, damn.
yeah.
Let me just take care of this on my own.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not gonna
But
lie,
that's
yeah.
because dad is the protector. Dad is
Disciplinary.
is the alpha, right?
Cool.
You know what I mean? Like if we all had an animal, let's say we all had a dog in our house. I'm sorry, Brett, but like for the most part, because of my strength, the dog's gonna come to me and do whatever I say.
Cool.
No
So-
matter what.
So now we just came to the point where I was talking about it comes on to the growth of a man to decipher that circle, right? So
True.
either you decide that no, we're not naming our kid this, or you decide, hey, I'm gonna let her do her stupidness with the soap and blah 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 blah, right?
No, but that's a situation
that's-
where you can't cave.
That's a situation where you can't cave.
Because as a
so
man,
what happens
there are
now? What happens
situations
now?
where you do submit, and you're like, okay, cool, let her have it. That's fine.
Okay, cool.
Because
cool.
this is indifferent.
The soap,
from
soap you can let her have
This
it.
is not indifferent.
This is not good. My point.
Okay.
So the buck stops with
With the stuff that it needs to
with the.
stop with.
I would say it would stop with the man, and if it doesn't, then the relationship caves completely. Because if you have a woman
Yeah,
that
yeah.
does not listen to the point, I don't want to name my kid James because
Yeah.
of your
Relationships
husband,
done.
whatever.
No, for sure.
That's a touchy topic because it is that man that makes that decision. Do you guys not agree?
Relationships are interesting because like when a man is unhappy, we gotta deal with it.
Yeah.
When a woman's unhappy, she cuts.
I agree. I agree.
No,
You don't think so?
No.
For the most part,
majority,
for the most part.
They cut emotionally before we actually cut.
I know, and that's even worse because
know.
now you're here with us and we're doing all this extra work, we're doing all this other stuff, which everything's good. All of a
get
sudden,
checked out.
she's
Yeah.
gone, and you're like,
Yeah.
yo, what's with this, bro?
Even my point was, see, when I was talking about a woman being indirect and whatever, and being more gentle about herself, you won't find that in a woman that's out of a relationship. That woman is going to be direct. That woman is going to be like, yo, like, you're trash, like, or whatever. That's the direct woman. You've already lost at that point because that woman is like, she's no longer happy, right? But I do believe that there's a point in time in every relationship where the man is kind of got to be a man. You know what I mean? And then if it doesn't work out, then that relationship completely shatters because the man does have to be, in a sense, his own dominant or have his own dominant place in a relationship.
Oh, for sure. You definitely have to put your foot down on certain things where you see fit, but at the same time, again, everything's fluid, and there's times where you do have to give the baby the bottle or submit.
Absolutely.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. Absolutely. So I was just saying, when it becomes to an impasse, what happens? Because I honestly think that when it usually comes to an impasse, it's either it goes the man's way or the man lets it happen, and then the festering of that man, as you just said, like, it completely breaks a relationship. If there's a man that doesn't care about a woman,
it depends on the situation.
please.
If it completely breaks it, or if it's like it bends.
So
So is
you stayed with that woman that named the kid James. You're unhappy about it. It bothers you every day that you wake up and you call your kid James.
Ooh, no
It
way.
completely breaks
Yeah,
the relationship
yeah.
when an
But
impasse.
that would break you as a man, so.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
my
Your
point.
ego's gonna come into play.
It's like equivalent to having, if she's naming the child, you know, after her dead husband, it's
Might as well be
basically
his you.
exactly. It's equivalent like her getting pregnant for another man.
Cool.
You can't really come back from that.
Cool. I have.
I wouldn't expect my man to come back from that.
My next example, and I want to see what you guys would do with it. So you guys get in a relationship with somebody who is of a different religion, right? Or they're atheists. They don't even believe in anything, all right? You guys agree before the kid is born that the kid will be Christian. Obviously, you guys want to be Christian. Cool. So the kid is born now. 10 years have passed since you guys had that discussion, but now, hey, your wife is now a little bit more practicing her faith of being Muslim, right? So now you guys come to an impasse of where do we raise this kid? What do we tell this kid? What am I allowed to tell this kid about religion while it conflicts with what my wife believes? And you guys have different reasons, valid reasons, because it's a genuine belief off of where it should be, this kid should go. What happens there?
I was in this situation, so I mean, it's very simple. I mean, for one, I'm gonna give belief in no. We're gonna hold on to that. We're gonna
Yes.
put that in the box somewhere.
I think I know what you're gonna say, but continue.
Belief in no. Put that in the box. In that type of a situation, I feel like knowledge is important. For my own like spiritual growing and growing within our faith and all that kind of stuff, like I learned a lot from different ministers. Your dad, of course, Reverend Ski, all these different people, and through a lot of them, I learned that they literally prayed with everybody.
Absolutely.
They worshipped with everybody. They learned about these different, theological practices and blah 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 blah, and that furthered their own knowledge. So this is what I would do for my child. I'd make sure my child knows everything that I know, because that is my duty to them. If my wife wants to do the same thing, I have no qualms with that.
Okay.
Only because of what I believe in terms of all the Abrahamic faiths, which is why they're called the Abrahamic faiths.
Okay.
In my eyes, they all believe in the same. They all believe in the same. We all believe in the same God, because we'll never say anything about Jews. Will we?
No.
Right.
Jesus was a Jew himself, but when you speak about
No, Jesus was Hebrew.
no, when you speak about Jesus himself and Christianity, Christians believe that Jesus was the Messiah.
Of course,
Good. If you speak to a Muslim, they say that
Jesus was a prophet. That's what they'll say.
prophet, right? Cool. They do not necessarily regard him as the Son of God.
They actually think
just-
that he's one of the most prevalent prophets.
Absolutely.
Of all time.
No doubt, no doubt.
They rate him high still,
But the difference is that one, we call him the Messiah,
for sure.
and one teaches that he's not.
But then we also have different denominations within Christianity where they don't even talk to Jesus, bro. They
Understand
talk
that.
straight to God.
So the impasse comes when your wife wants to teach all that she knows.
Right.
And her belief includes saying that Jesus Christ is not the Messiah. And you believe that he is.
Because my kid is still gonna have to understand the faith for himself. So he's gonna have to make that
Yeah.
choice, or she's gonna have to make that choice. My kid could just say, "Bun religion, I'm done with this.
Okay.
Like some of my sisters have.
So
What are you gonna do in that situation?
I believe what am I gonna do in this situation? I know my kid's going to church on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
but
But that's
she
what I
may
mean.
want to
Learning
take.
what I learned.
Later
She
on.
may want to take the child to Duxie classes on Saturday.
To
And
what?
Duxie.
Ah, what?
It's basically
Yeah.
when you learn to read the Quran, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So it's just
Mosque,
like
whatever.
it's like, you know, you can literally participate in both faiths at the same time. You know, literally, you know, get the child christened. Whereas in the Muslim faith, they may, I'm not sure.
They don't really.
My Hoyas don't come for me. Sorry.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? You can both equally practice things and do things, you know, to feel like this child is a part of both faiths. And then when they get to a certain age, they can decipher as to which one appeals to them a bit more.
Okay.
You know, I think that's what I would do. I would be like, okay, if you want to educate our child on your faith and what you believe, that's cool. I will be educating my child on what my faith and what I believe. I will take them to church, you know, let them do a little bit of Sunday school. And if that means you want to, you know, let them learn how to read the Quran, like, if you know what I mean, that's cool. But at the end of the day, the final choice is going to be with that child. We
Right.
can't force, as much as we try to feel like we have control over what they think, they're going to make the final decision at the end of the day, and they're going to do and accept what appeals to them.
I think what's hard around that though is that each side is gonna pass their information as the truth, the final truth.
Yeah.
So it is up to the child, but the child is going to be confused now because you said this.
Why do you
is
think
true.
so? If
And
you're
use
already
it is
setting
true.
up a precedent saying that this is what I'm going to teach you and this is what it is, and letting them know that you have to understand what this is for yourself. This is what we were all taught in Sunday school. It's not just about, you get baptized, you go to church.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not about that. You have to accept and understand for yourself. You have to have a relationship that you understand, that you can speak to and walk through in life. That's what you're going to have to understand.
That's how you should present it
That's
to the
literally
child.
how I would present
That's
it.
exactly.
That's
That's exactly how I would present it.
That's how you're supposed to present it to the child.
Right.
But then there's those people that are the extreme that would be like, this is the absolute truth. Don't listen to this side. Like, they're talking nonsense. This is blasphemy.
Well, for one, and this is leading to that. Are you
Do you
how you work that impasse with that partner?
You can't let it go.
I mean, like, at that point, it's like, I wouldn't be with that person in the first place. because
Religion is a
But there's some
strong.
people who
Yeah.
come
But
to
then-
extreme forms of extremism after the fact. Like you and I may
Yeah.
have been together, and I was like, yeah, I'm
that
not
was the
really
example he used.
dabbling in my Christian faith. But then something happens when I have this child, and some people feel more inclined to teach religion after they have a child, and they actually grow into their faith and be like, and sometimes become more extreme.
Yeah, bro, my mom got baptized in her late 50s. Guys.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
remember, we were all going to church. Where's my mom? Not with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, so like things could change, right? So
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you're growing into that relationship and then it becomes more extreme later on, then at the end of the day, for me personally, I'll just say what I have to say and leave it to the child when they grow up to decide.
'cause I feel like for
Because-
me, not to even cut you, I just feel like I'm so confident in what I believe that like I know that me passing this on and passing on this information, there's something that's going to be received. I remember being 12 and my grandma saying read Proverbs because it's going to make you like more wise. You're going to be able to get through different situations and understand what to look for. She wasn't wrong. I read Proverbs. I made sure I learned that. In my teens, I'm like, why am I going through different situations? The tongue is really evil and can be really messed up. You know what I mean? All these different things. And I feel like because of the fact that a lot of people, especially in the Abrahamic faith, but I'm just saying Christianity, are so afraid to have knowledge outside of, not saying that you have to like study and learn about someone else's book, that's not what I'm saying, but at least understand what everyone else is doing.
Absolutely.
And have an understanding of what people are doing.
Absolutely.
Because my Sikh brethren, like, I put on a do-rag and we'd go to temple and I'm praying to Jesus.
Yeah.
But to see them in their element was crazy. It did so much for my soul. You know what I mean? Like same thing with my Muslim brothers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
That's
I
absolutely.
learned
say
so
there's
much
nothing
more
there,
about,
yeah.
about my own reverence and how deep I need to go.
Yes.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So like, I wouldn't want to shield my kid from the knowledge that's out there.
There's
Because at
certain
the end of the day,
elements, yeah.
they're gonna have to take all of that knowledge and make it true for themselves.
There's certain elements of different religions and stuff that you can take from it
Oh,
and
for sure.
better your own life.
Yeah, because they're all the same.
I think
That
at
are
the end
those
of the
elements.
day, as long as the values are there, I think you can have the religion part of it, but I think if you take, because a lot of religions have those good values set in them. So I think it's mainly if the kid takes away the values from each religion, even if it's Christianity, even if it is Muslim, as long as they have the values, I think that's what I want at the end of the day.
Facts.
I think that's what I want. It doesn't matter what religion, to be honest, as long as the values are there, as long as I grew up as a good person, if they know, don't steal, don't kill, read the Proverbs and all that stuff.
But what
I disagree.
I feel like
The last bit that you just said, I definitely want values, but like I feel like a child that is just presented with information with a plethora of choices, they are knowledgeable, but it's almost like their faith doesn't, at that point, become
No.
focused.
The faith is them.
It comes.
They
The faith is always gonna be uniformative, but
that's something
different
that,
for everybody.
yeah,
because-
they-
that's
it's
something
for
that
them.
But it's
I
just,
could, I
it's
could
just
put it
an
like
idea.
this. It's what as simple as this. Who here eats pork? I don't.
pork.
I do.
Somewhat,
I do
but
eat
like
pork.
not.
All right, we're not Jamaican
Whatever.
people. We ain't making the things. The Bible says we can't eat that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to eat shellfish.
Yeah.
You know, we're not supposed to eat certain. We're not supposed to eat certain things because it's not good for our bodies. Yes, Jesus said, "Yo, blessed by my name, you're good."
Yes.
And I believe in that. But I also know for a fact, from like a scientific standpoint, that like, yo, pigs roll around in their own poop and eat that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You are what you eat.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of tapeworms. I ain't eating that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I've eaten shellfish and gotten extremely sick.
Same.
You know what I mean? So like I understand those type of things.
Pretty good though.
Yo, it is pretty good. It is pretty good. Fasting. How often do we all fast?
I fast.
You know what I mean?
Nah,
It's but okay, that's good. I'm glad that we all do because we have to. Two, when did we learn that here?
To fast?
Fast?
I
Because
literally just
Christians
My mom.
fast.
My
They're
mom.
supposed to.
My mom used to fast, so I would always, like, I was introduced
I'm
into
glad
fasting
that you
and
had that
everything.
example.
But
I
not
actually picked
everybody
it up from
had
John.
Not
that.
everybody
yeah,
does that. That's
I-
something I picked off of information.
I ain't gonna hold you. I did that by accident, bro.
By accident.
By accident, bro.
Gotta be
Like,
able-
right, so I just like one day I just did not feel like I wanted to eat, so
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, I went through a whole day without eating.
I could do that.
Yeah,
But that's a practice
Yeah.
that we are supposed to actually practice.
Yeah.
And we don't do those different things. So like when we're talking about religion, you know, like are we going all the way in or are we just putting our foot in the water? You know what I mean? We have to be able to, you know, go that extra mile to make sure we're doing everything the right way. If that's the case. I would rather my kid understand what the religion is, but really have a spiritual connection to it. And that's kind of where I sit.
Yeah, I want a spiritual connection.
'cause-
I think that's mainly the thing that I want.
Yeah.
I want my son.
To know God is real.
I want my son to be able to speak to God
Yeah.
and hear it. You know what I mean? And I almost think that like this is me. This is me personally.
No,
Like
of course.
I feel like if, like for instance, the idea that when you have a kid now, they don't want to say what's a boy toy and what's a girl toy. You want to give all the toys to the kid, right?
No.
And I'm like, bro,
No.
I believe a man is a man and a woman is a woman, and yeah, he should be playing with blue toys that are cars as opposed to this Barbie doll over here in the house, because I see in myself a woman as being more nurturing, and I can see that will taper that woman towards, I guess, a role, and that is a hard topic to talk about, but yeah.
Do you believe
Right?
or do you know?
Do I believe or do I know? That's the nature versus nurture thing. That's the, sorry, hold on.
No. You said, I believe that, what did you say? I believe that,
That
Girl toys, boy toys.
yeah. Do you believe or do you know?
Do I believe or do I know that a man is more tapered to this and a woman is? Wait, what am I saying? What?
Shoot, sorry. Oh man, I'm trying to get that
Okay,
first line.
I'll start it over again.
Yes.
Okay, so I have my son, and I'm thinking, okay, so do I want it to be that I put girl toys and boy toys in front of him no matter what, or do I structure him in a way that I say, you play with this because this is more so catered toward that, and I want you to be a man. So,
But by you doing that, do you acknowledge the fact that by you doing that may end up him resulting playing with like you think by you giving him just this section of boy toys to play with will prevent him from ever playing with these girl toys, right?
it fosters, and that's what I'm saying, this is the nurture part of the nature and nurture argument. It fosters him to become more of a man. If not so, you don't believe that
So this is going
tapering
back
of
to the
that?
question I just asked you. Do you
No.
believe or do you know?
No.
That a boy, giving him cars, giving him trucks is because you want him to be a man.
There's a study that goes on about,
Just
Sorry,
answer,
what?
just answer before you give me that. Just answer that.
I believe, absolutely. I don't have
Why do you believe and not know?
why do I believe and not know?
Yeah.
Because I would say that,
Oh, I got him.
what? No, you ain't get me.
I know.
I would say that it's a belief to say that, even in Christianity and these toys, that if I'm believing that I'm pushing you towards this, that you will go towards this. This is where the work is being done. If I push you this way, what's the effect going to be?
Kinetic
It goes
energy,
that
you're going that way.
Exactly,
Right.
right? Good. So it's a belief.
But you know.
But could
you know that will happen.
So,
could
do you
he not
believe that
even
you're
move?
black or do you know that you're black?
I know that I'm black, but that is a fact.
So
That's a fact. If
so
I
is it
put-
not a
if-
fact
if
that
I
your
push
son
on him,
is
does he
male
have
and
to
your
move?
son is going to be a man? Is that not already fact?
Sorry?
Do you not know that your son is male and he's already a man?
Masculine. You're pushing your son to be more masculine. And also,
So this is why I
in
disagree.
a sense,
this is why I disagree with this.
Okay, cool.
I disagree with it. One, because I was a kid that was in friggin' kindergarten where we had to bring our own toys. I brought my race car. I brought my damn race car. You touch the top of it, it's like race car. Girls brought their dolls. We had to switch toys. I got stuck playing with dolls. I was really pissed. However, I took the damn dolls and what I do with them, action figures. The way I interacted with those toys was a boy child.
Yes,
The
absolutely.
girls didn't even like the way that I was playing with their toys. They wanted to take it back.
Understood.
Right? So, like, the reason why I don't fear those things is because your boy's gonna be a boy regardless. Now, if you're pushing on ideals like you can be a girl if you want to, that's different. Don't do that to my kid. I'm gonna smack you.
Yeah.
That's totally different.
Yeah.
Why not? Wait, why is that completely different?
That is
Because
kind
you're
of
telling your kid that
You're giving them options.
no. You're
Yeah.
telling,
Yeah.
you're telling your
Believe
kid
that
that
you're
if
something.
you feel different, which the kid might just wake up and feel sad that day, because you feel different, it's because you need to be a girl. Now you're brainwashing the kid. That's different. If I put a whole bunch of toys here, it's not necessarily gonna affect what's gonna happen. The kid that's a boy is mainly gonna go to toys that they like to build, or
Yeah.
toys that they're gonna be able to do different things with action.
Absolutely.
Well, a girl is gonna create differently with the toys that they have, whether it's building blocks or.
Do you
playing
believe
with
that
dolls.
happens just off of being born? Or do
Yeah.
you think that happens off of the...
I think
the
it
male
happens
perspective?
due to various different situations and control dramas.
So you believe that there's no real woman characteristics as much as a woman can just be born and
All right, let me put it like
just
this.
grow towards being a guy or being masculine?
No, I feel like that is trauma. That's my personal belief.
Do you think that it's trauma?
If I was born a male and I came to you guys, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna be Christina, just so you guys know. Like,
Yeah.
I believe that there's trauma that I'm not dealing with, that I'm not being accountable for, and this is the only way for me to escape this.
I don't think you. I don't
That's
think
just my point of
you
view.
have to actually promote like boy toys or anything. Because I remember growing up watching YTV, watching all the girls playing their girl dolls, and then
90s, the amount of guys that was watching Sailor Moon, bro.
Yeah, man.
Like,
right.
like,
Exactly.
Exactly. How you fix that?
That's kind of a guy show, though. But
How
anyway,
did you fix that?
we wasn't all watching it for just... All right, never mind.
Y'all want to do tuxedo mask, I'm just saying.
But
It was
my
greasy,
point,
and all together.
You know what I mean? We're watching for the same reason. We're watching for the same reason.
But my point is that he's gonna see these things, and he'll want a super soaker more than he'll want a doll.
I'm not gonna lie, I wanted an easy bake oven only because I
'Cause it's
wanted the
food.
treats. That's
Yeah.
it. I didn't care about it.
Okay.
And then I saw the gooey candy stuff, and I'm like, yo, I probably want that, but easy bake oven is better. No,
I wanted a Tamagotchi. That's probably a girl thing. I don't know, but that's the thing.
For me, like,
So you
I
guys,
lived with my brother, right? So we were the epitome of girl toys and boy toys. And I remember going into his room and take his Buzz Lightyear and his race cars and play
I
with
had
them.
one.
absolutely.
I had
Because
a
it's
big
not
one like
because
this.
I was just like, oh my gosh, these are boys' toys. I shouldn't be playing with them. I'm like, yo, this is fire. I don't. My dolls don't talk.
Well,
You know what I mean?
Because, like, I feel like when you remove
also
that
Toy
kind of-
Story kind of blended the two.
Yeah, but I feel like, and this is just me watching like my sister's kids grow up. Like when you take stuff away like that, you actually take away their creativity as well and their own
Absolutely.
inspiration. I feel like
Yeah.
me seeing my nephew play with different toys and like do what I used to, pop the heads off the dolls and do crazy stuff, and watch the girls freak out and cry. It's just like I don't know.
I made a horror movie, bro. Watch this.
Like it was cool to kind of see how they would interact, and like it was okay because their creativity was increasing. They were in a different scope where they could still be themselves in this scope and create their own world. Like I remember being a kid going to
That's
those
it.
McDonald's birthday parties that
Yeah.
they had
Yeah.
at my place, the big ones.
Yeah.
It was my godbrother's birthday. So I got there and all the kids had like Aladdin and all these Disney things, and they gave me some little doll thing. My dad was pissed. Pissed. I was like 5 or 6. He was, no, you give my son something, dolly, blah, blah, blah. Freaked out. They came to give me like 3 different toys or something like that were like for boys. So like, I get it, but think of your son. He's gonna be like, Dad, he's gonna do whatever you do. When I was a kid, my grandma told my dad, be careful what you do around Chris because he copies everything that you do.
Understood.
Your son will be masculine. You don't have to worry.
The issue is about. Okay. Do you believe fostering it in a direction though makes a difference?
I don't think it makes a difference. I feel like
Don't?
sometimes when you
People just people. Just
people are just people, but you want to see where your child gravitates to because then,
absolutely.
then you can inspire by giving more because
Of
you'll
what
see
that
you'll
is.
see exactly what they're looking for.
absolutely.
And then boom, then you get into a different thing as opposed to trying to push a whole bunch of things on them to keep them within the scope.
Yeah.
So what's the difference
Good.
between you said that you could see where they gravitate to, and then you can see more of what they're looking for. What is the difference between, like, do you say that in the terms of like you see what they're looking for and you provide it to them? So
100%.
so what's the difference between doing that and then fostering a child a certain way?
Because you're putting them in a scope.
Okay.
As opposed to letting them go on their path and finding a territory where like, yo, I like this cool thing. You're like, oh, you like that? Cool. Here's a scope. I'll give an example. I was in Westwood Mall when I was living in Malton. I saw past a Radio Shack and I was playing on a little keyboard. My mom was like, I was like, Mom, I want one of these things. She's like, yeah, whatever. One day, it was in my room. I'm like, oh, this is sick. She knew that I gravitated to this. What did she do? What did she do? Put these books down. I'm like, what the hell is this? What, you think I was going to buy you a piano and let it sit dust? I went into music school. She fostered that scope that I was allowed to dive into. You know what I mean?
So, with that being said, okay, so let's say you put all the toys just like on the table for him to.
It would be a
to
good
guide-
exercise.
To
You'll see.
to guide, to see where he gravitates
Damn, if
to.
he thinks of all the
And he
dolls,
gravitates into
No.
a doll.
That's my
He
point.
gravitates-
That is my point. That's my next question. That's my next question, bro.
So,
Let's go.
he gravitates
Let's go,
towards
bro.
Let's
go, bro.
He gravitates towards the doll. Do you recommend he foster him and guide him towards that?
You mean
Or are you
hairstylist?
going to stop that?
I would actually,
Man, some men can do hair.
I know.
They can be getting money.
I could braid hair still, but I have 5 other sisters.
Okay.
I would ask my kid, why you play with a doll?
But why?
Why? And just to see what they're gonna say. I don't know. Like, it was the first thing that I saw.
Why do you need to ask them?
Just curiosity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not as in
I think
like,
it's good to
Not to-
ask kids questions because they'll tell you what they.
But you wouldn't guide them to like, "Hey, you should be playing more with this.
Yeah.
I think it depends on the situation. I feel like
You think
Now
so?
that-
no,
yeah,
situation.
see?
Hold on,
Now
hold on,
we're mad with-
no,
yeah.
but and I'm kind of with Matt on this one.
Yeah, like-
because like from a guy's perspective, you don't want your son specifically to be a weenie, bro.
My point. You
And
foster
I remember
almost
that as
in
a kid.
protection of him.
I remember this as a
Right?
kid. Like I did something and I was like, I don't know, I think I was sad or I was calm. My dad's like, "You're not a weenie," and I'm like, "I'm not a weenie." He's like, "Well, okay, well, why are you doing this?" I'm like, "I don't know." He's like, "Do you want to be a weenie?" I'm like, "Nah,
Yeah.
I don't want to be a weenie."
What did weenie mean?
I don't know.
A punk.
I don't know.
A weenie.
It meant
Everything-
Being, it meant being less masculine.
But
Yes.
so like at 5, 6 years old, I knew what that meant,
Yes.
and I didn't want to. I chose to not want that,
Yes.
But
and I
okay.
stayed very far away from that scope because I
Were
knew
you a
what that
weenie
was.
But
because
he still
you were
fostered
sad?
it, bro.
Well, who chooses
No,
to be
no, no,
that?
I-
Okay, it was something.
So I don't remember the situation, but I remember the feeling, and I remember what I felt like, and I was like, I don't want it. That's not me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Does it? Do you think it depends?
He's laughing
on-
because he knows.
I know you're giving your kid boy toys. I'm just saying. I just know.
Yeah, my kid. Come on, I have all you guys just getting cars, skyline, little skyline.
That's all I'm saying,
Hell
man.
yeah, he's getting cars.
But do you think it depends on like who brings you up? Because I mean, you have those single mothers bringing their boy children up, and then do they become less of men because they're brought up by women?
I just think they have a different scope.
Yes.
I do, yeah.
I
Right?
agree.
They have a different scope, a different experience. Again, what I was saying before with single men, single women, their kids are raised differently. Single women's kids, unfortunately, are less confident. It's just stats. You know what I mean? They do less in school. There's more stressors that come from an emotional side being with a single mom as opposed to being with a single dad. Single dad's just gonna freaking work and make sure you're happy as much as they can. Even though he might be suffering, unless he's just dysfunctional.
Yeah.
Then
Unstable,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? But that's kind of how that would work. Which is why we need both. Because the men are gonna just, hold it down for the family.
Yeah.
The woman in this situation is gonna make sure that the home blossoms and grows into something that we can't do as men.
Yeah.
We can buy a house, they make it a home.
You know what I'm saying? But like, even what you're saying right now, you're just putting a role on a situation, and I'm thinking, okay, so if this woman is gonna blossom this house and make it a home, she needs to learn that from someone. She doesn't just choose that; she was fostered into that. Do you not teach your child
I
these
think
kind of
that's
things?
nurture though, because
That's what I'm saying. It's not
sorry,
nature.
I think that's nature. That's what I meant to say.
Nature.
So you think
When
women?
it comes to like
Nurture, that could be anything. And from what I've seen in today's
nurture
world,
isn't always good.
I think today's world does not teach enough of what.
dude, today's
Where
world,
they're supposed to
But
go.
bro,
from a
today-
nature aspect,
bro,
like
today's
for instance, Brett, I'll use you as an example. You get with this dude, you're together. He goes and gets his new apartment, and we're guys, bro. We got a TV, we
can
got a
do-
bed,
yeah,
we
you
got a
can
couch.
just the bare minimum.
The girl is gonna come and make your house lit. She's gonna do and just add different things that's gonna be wicked.
Put some nice
Home
little
decorator.
curtains
That
in.
you appreciate
Bed
sometimes if
sheets.
she's a good girl.
When did she learn those things? From the
didn't learn
time
them.
she
I
was
like them.
They do that,
baby, bro. Like that's
Girls-
what I'm trying to say.
Girls,
though.
girls literally will go on Pinterest and be like, I have ideas for a room, and then go do it. And you're like, what? I ain't thinking about that.
Like my
Alright,
mom, I love her,
Got my
but
PS4,
she
my
never said, "Hey,
I'm
Brittany, come sit beside. I'm gonna teach you how to do this." I'm like, I don't want to do that. I want to watch Sailor Moon,
Okay.
right? So I
I-
just feel like,
I think it's amongst the women too, like the womanhood that you have.
Yeah.
They kind of foster you into
yeah.
Foster.
that. They foster you into it. It doesn't
Actually,
necessarily
I
have
take
to
what
be.
I said back. Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to be.
But it's through repetition and just constant action, like you know what I mean.
Because seeing her do it all the time, I'm just like, okay.
Which is why I do believe in gender roles. Like I'll give another example. I went to go see.
You guys do believe in gender roles?
Of course I do.
Oh, all right then. Sorry. We're going
Yeah.
across this thing. You were saying
Of course
like,
I do.
why do I not do this? And I'm like, nah, bro. Like,
No, I know that
believe
stuff
you're
is
supposed
still
to do this.
fluid, but I do believe that it's
I
gender
allowed it. Like, I'm fluid about it. I like that word, fluid.
Yeah, like I went to my cousin Andrew's like birthday thing. Raquel was there, of course, and a whole bunch of people I know. When I got there, me and Damien got there. We got there super late. First thing, after getting a whole bunch of hugs from everybody, did you eat? No, I'm trying to get some food. I come back, there's a plate that's made for me. That is just something that women do. A man is never gonna do that.
Nope.
Unless it's a barbecue and say, yo, come get some chicken. It'll be a come go get up, come get some chicken and feed you. But like,
I'd be like, the food over there.
it's different.
Yeah, exactly.
It's different, you know what I mean? And like, it's not any less of a woman to fix a man a plate. No, it's just it's just part of our culture, you know what I mean?
Cool.
So
Yeah. I believe we all, like, each gender does possess traits of the other, but just not in the amounts that the other one does have.
100%.
The opposite sex has. Bro.
I see what you mean.
I don't. Hold on. Let me see how long this is, bro.
I see
Hold
what
up.
you mean by that thing about fixing a plate, because even though like I grew up in a single parent household and I didn't see like the father figure of like making my mom making my like father a plate,
Yeah.
but I saw how she treats, until this day, treats my uncle. When my uncle comes over, he
eats first, huh?
Yes, all the time.
Yup.
And she'll call me. I'll be on the couch. She'll like, Brittany, so you're not gonna make something for your uncle to drink?
yeah.
And I'm like, you in the kitchen? Like, I'm just all like, you know what I mean?
We're all
But
Canadian.
he's the first to get served all
So
the
I'll
time.
put it like this: Sunday dinner after we leave church, we go to my grandma's house.
Yeah.
It's my grandma, my sisters. I guess when Rain and Leandra came, them two, Jennifer, Janice, my dad, my
Yeah.
grandmother.
Big
There's like
family.
10 of us
Yeah.
in one house after dinner. Guess who eats first?
Your dad.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
He eats first, then the kids sometimes they would eat because they're like
Yeah,
waiting
that
all
would be
the
my
time.
uncle.
And then guess who eats after? Me. So I'm the only one at the table. My food's there.
Yeah,
Then my sisters. And that's just how it worked.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a
When-
traditionalist
That's
aspect.
literally how it worked every single Sunday for my entire life.
With that.
Yeah, cause when
We all have.
was it?
I also have a family full of a lot of women, right?
Yeah.
So like, they take care of a lot of stuff that me and my dad will never do. Me and my dad do everything else that they will never touch.
We actually do.
I mean, like,
You kind of grew up with that. Your mom doesn't
No,
sit down
Our mom
until
is
everybody,
I
eats,
should
bro.
say, okay, so I should say,
Your mom's very traditional, very
I should say our mom is definitely like that. But I'm trying to think, like going back to Barbados and stuff, if like we would go to a place to go have a family dinner and we would sit down and like we would be served first, or
Maybe
say-
not to that extent,
Yeah.
but there was definitely that.
Our mom
respect.
to the-
But our,
To this
our moms
day.
definitely to this day
To this day, man.
still be serving us food and you know fixing plates and all that stuff for
Food
others.
is love, man.
Yeah.
Food is love. Can't be mean with
It's
that.
true.
So it's
It's true.
All right, bro.
She makes my brother a plate, but I gotta go make my own plate. I'm just saying, it's not fair.
I mean,
My mom's different. It's like because I have more of an independent attitude. It's like, yeah, you don't have to fix any dinner for me. I'm perfectly fine making
Well,
my
she
own.
would.
Food. She would, but like,
I've come to your crib and your
Yeah.
mom's made food for all of us.
yeah,
It's
but
been
like,
the same.
it's just like for me, it's like I have no problem making because like
Yeah.
I've.
it's not a
I-
reliance. It's not a.
No, it's not. It's not. But it's like she knows, like, yo, if I'm hungry, I'm hitting the stove.
you're a very
Like, yeah,
independent
like
guy.
yeah.
It's cool.
Okay.
All right, it's midnight,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I know we talked about all that.
It was a good talk, guys.
It was. I didn't finish, man. I'm upset. All right. Anyway,
Did we finish the last time?
No.
we did 3 questions last time.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Well, that's because we spent an hour on that dish, bro. I'm so mad at
Y'all
you
really
for
don't
that.
need a woman's touch, because like I'm just here just watching y'all talk.
No, you said some good
I
stuff.
said some stuff, but
You always bring.
Dog, you hit the
You keep
strongest
coming, Kez.
BS. Yo,
You
you
keep-
shit. Nah, you hit the strongest BS I ever heard.
what BS? You see this? You see this?
No. When he said something, you hit the strongest. That's bullshit that I ever heard in my life.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought you said what I was saying, all the stuff I was
no,
saying.
no,
I'm
no.
like, oh,
Definitely not. It's all good.
fine.
Dog, you see how she was ready to go to war? Right? I was complimenting her.
I'm not ready to go
talking
to
about?
war. Never.
You're needed here.
All right, I'm always signing up, so
Appreciate y'all.
somebody
All
else sign up today.
All right, guys. Thanks for attending the table downstairs. You know, we'll see you next week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. If you got any comments, leave it in the chat. Peace.
Peace, yo.
Peace, y'all.